What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Bethann and Samantha, and today we are going to be talking about the second book of the Inheritance Games trilogy. It is called Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lyn Barnes, of course.
Shocker.
Author of the well-known, magnificent, grandeur
of the Natural series.
Yes.
It is the Natural series. It's so good.
Yes. So I really love this book. Would you say that you like this book better or Inheritance Games?
That's not fair because I prefer the Natural series because of the serial killer high angst, does that make sense? The high anticipation, life or death situations, and the puzzles are more at stake, high risk.
Right.
But I really like the Inheritance series so far because it got a little what is the word? It got a little risky in the first one with her life and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different kind of anticipation. It's more of it reminds me of Knives Out.
Yes.
That Netflix show.
Yes.
But a little less deadly with teenagers.
Yeah, this book series, it has me thinking it's going to be How Truly Devious Is by Maureen Johnson.
Oh, have you read all of those?
I have not, but it's giving me the vibes that are going to be okay, it's going to be similar to this because I know generally what it's supposed to be about, and it sounds like it's going to be about sort of the same thing.
Yeah. And also my thing is it's a little more teen to me than the Natural series. It's a lot less adult.
Yes.
But I don't mind it.
Right.
And I don't not enjoy it. I really love the book.
Yeah.
It is amazingly written. Her twists and turns, I don't ever see coming. I make all these, I'm not very good. I'm not as good as you are as far as guessing the endings and stuff.
Right.
But it's still really difficult to try to compile all the evidence and figure everything out, and it really takes you on a wild goose chase, and I love that.
Yeah, and I will say that I did not guess the ending on the Inheritance Games or the Hawthorne Legacy, so...
Which means it's great.
Yes, and if you have read these books and you want another series like this, I would suggest either Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. It is a 4-book series, I believe. The 4th book is coming out soon, or has already came out. It's called The Box in the Woods, I think, the last book. And then the Gallagher Girls series by Allie Carter.
I've heard of that.
It's really good, and it's it's definitely YA, but it's gives the natural / Inheritance Games vibes. It's about these girls that are in this school, and it's for spies. They're trained from when they're young to when they're a certain age until they become official spies.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that then.
Yeah, and that is, I think there's 5 or 6 books in that series, and it's really good. I've read it twice, and I don't ever reread books.
Excuse me.
So
is this going to be a trilogy then?
Yes.
Okay, so I can't remember if she officially announced that the last one's going to be coming out this year.
Yes, and that one is called The Final Gambit.
Okay, that's right. So if you wanted to something like this that lasts a little longer, those other 2 series will give you a little bit longer of a challenge. Mm-hmm. But it's still so good. She just writes so well, and I'm obviously a slow reader. We all know. But the first book I read in 2 days or something like that, which is super fast for me. And this one, I think Christmas got in the way, but I did read the first half of it extremely fast, and it reads fast because she has you hanging on every single sentence basically.
Right.
There is always something to try to tear apart, figure out.
Yeah.
And I just love that puzzle aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really worried, honestly, because I was if it's not going to be about being hunted down and, like, all of this, like, crazy, like, we've got to find all these puzzles before the serial killer stuff. Like, I was worried because, like, how can you keep me that interested and there's not going to be that much of a high stake, like, thing happening?
Yeah.
But she manages to do that. I just think she's a great writer.
Yeah, she is. I agree. So, okay, the Hawthorne Legacy, I'm going to go ahead and read the little description. So, it says, intrigue, riches, and romance abound in this thrilling sequel. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, the inheritance games ended with a bombshell, and now heiress Avery Grams has to pick up the pieces and find the man who might hold the answers to all of her questions, including why Tobias Hawthorne, these are spoilers, Tobias Hawthorne left his entire fortune to Avery, a virtual stranger, rather than to his own daughters or grandsons. Thanks to a DNA test, Avery knows that she's not a Hawthorne by blood, but clues pile up hinting at a deeper connection to the family than she had ever imagined. As the mystery grows and the plot thickens, Grayson and Jameson, the enigmatic and magnetic Hawthorne grandsons, tongue twisters, continue to pull Avery in different directions, and there are threats lurking around every corner as adversaries emerge who will stop at nothing to see Avery out of the picture by any means necessary. With nonstop action, aspirational jet-setting family intrigue, swoon-worthy romance, and billions of dollars hanging in the balance, the Hawthorne Legacy will thrill Jennifer Lyn Barnes fans and new readers alike.
Okay, so let me segue a second and say that the romance in this is really not romance to me.
No, it's very tame, like, just very, like, kind of
really,
little bit of flirting.
Yeah, I was about to say, tame really isn't the word either. Because, like, tame to me is, like, you aren't describing things, but things are happening. Like, that's kind of tame.
Yeah.
Like, you can imply, but there's literally, it's just, like, this mental hint.
Yes.
To her, like, spoilers, like, connection with both of these boys, Grayson and Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally feel like there's so little between the three of them for this quote-unquote love triangle. That's not... And it's not a beef because I don't really care about romance and stuff.
Right.
But if the only thing I could think that would make it more appealing to people is that it was a little bit of a more of esteem for people. Like, oh, she kissed so-and-so and then she just went and kissed this guy and then I don't know how all of that crap
Scandalous.
works. Yeah, a little more scandalous. I think people would be a little more tried in, but I think that's what makes it so teen.
Yes.
And if it was like a new adult, it would be a lot heavier,
yes.
I think. But, I mean, I'm not mad about that, but I definitely don't see that as romance. That's my only gripe, is that when it says that, it misleads me, because...
Right, because you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be, like...
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, like,
puke-worthy, cringe-worthy romance.
And, like, Grayson won't even let her near him. Like, literally, hands out, excuse me, ma'am, social distancing, stay 6 feet away. Like,
yes.
Do not come near me, because you don't want none of this. But you really do want some of this. But you can't have some of this. Like,
you can't have me.
Yeah.
You have me. You
like,
have me, but you can't have me.
Exactly. Like, you've got my heart and everything, but, like, not really.
Stay away, bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you think... Do you have an idea? Okay, so, full disclosure. I am almost done with the book. So we can't get super spoily because I will be so upset.
Yes, that description kind of spoils the first book a little bit. So, yeah, definitely don't, like, read the second book and not read the first book because you'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's not going to make any sense. You definitely have to read them in order. So if you're one of those jump around persons, you're going to ruin everything for yourself.
Don't jump around.
Jump.
Get up and get down.
So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
But... Because I guess I'm so slow. But do you think that... Okay, I will ask this. Does it flesh out one way or another towards the end of this book? Just say yes or no.
What do you mean?
Like, does she lean towards one person one way or another? Like, more to one person than another person towards the end of this book?
I will say she has not made her decisions.
But is she leaning? Yes or no?
Physically leaning more towards one person. Mentally leaning more towards another.
See, okay, that's my thing. Is like, there's one book left. And like,
right.
I think what's going to happen is And I don't like romance, don't get me wrong, but I also hate loose ends a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I am not like for all the lovey-dovey, mushy-gushy, but if this book series ends and she hasn't picked someone and it leaves it on this cliffhanger of like, well, like we're just going to be friends and I'm just going to like them both for all of eternity, I am going to be a little perturbed because it is enough of a focal point because every interaction is like, I just want to smooch his lips.
I will say I'm very happy they didn't pull a Cassandra Clare and make them like related somehow. And then still be like, I love you.
Yeah.
Even though they really weren't, in the Shadowhunters Mortal Instruments series, they really weren't related. But there was for a while, they were like, yes.
But it was for a long time.
Yeah.
That she led everyone to believe. And that is why I stopped reading that series.
Yeah, that was like creepy vibes
That
there.
was definitely like incesty. And I quit that series, read spoilers, and never finished it. Because she pulled that. And I know people love that series. But them...
Aside from that part, it was a good series, but, like, once it got to that part, you're just kind of like... You're rooting for them so hard, and then they bring this up, and you're just kind of like, eh.
Then you feel cringy. You feel disgusting. It's just like...
And then you can't come back from it.
You can't, because, like, literally, like, they're like, whatever. Like, we're gonna be together anyway. And I'm like, oh my God.
And that's what did it... Like, if they found out they were related, and they were like, no, like, we can't... cut it off.
Cut off vibes and stuff. But they couldn't even keep their hands off of each other.
And they were just like, nah, it's fine.
Whatever.
Like, is it fine?
It's not like we knew each other anyway. But dude, you're literally like blood. Like blood. Like there's like...
For 0.5, they were blood.
Yeah, and it was so much wrong that I just couldn't make it right. And she just ruined the series for me. So I'm really glad that they clarified that early on.
Because I was getting those vibes for a second. I was like, no.
I was just like,
please don't ruin this series.
Because I can't do this. Like, I would tell Jennifer, I'd be like,
Jennifer, bro.
Come on. Like, don't do this to me, Jen. Like, man.
Lynn, come on.
We can't do it.
No, but you never know. Maybe they're gonna all be in a relationship. I mean, it's 2022.
Oh gosh, that would make it definitely new adult.
Yes, Lynn goes new adult. It's fine. This is her segue.
Yeah, this is her like going into that territory. Samantha would not be mad about it.
No. I would very much...
All over it. I would be forced to read it.
You know what? I liked reading a little bit about the scandal, so some scandal in there, throw that in, and I'm just like, you know what? This is interesting, so
I'm ready to find out how everything transitions into the final book, and I want to know if this final book is just going to be pow, pow, pow. Like,
yes. Psh. I will say, at the end... a new character, quote unquote new character, is introduced, and you're just like, okay, it's gonna leave off there. What the heck? And it's definitely like a cliffhanger, like the first book was.
Okay. So from this point on, we're gonna get a little spoilery. So if you don't want to hear anything about the second book, go ahead and stop here because I'm gonna like make some predictions.
Yes.
So I think that the Lachlan's are behind all of this because they just got on the plane to go to the north, True North, and they're rummaging through the closets and they found the aunt's, what's her name?
Sky.
Not Sky, the other aunt.
Oh,
I always forget her because she's not as much talked about as Sky is.
Yes.
But Sky's sister.
Yes.
And the note in the bottle saying, you knew and you did it anyway. And they're like, what did she do? And then it goes between Thea and Bex, and they have this like romantic tension happening. And then she's just like, I just can't some things can't be forgotten.
It's so funny. We need to do like, okay, so it's funny because you say her name is Thea and I say her name is Thea. We need to do like a book that has like a bunch of like weird character names and do one of those TikToks like how I say this name.
Me too. That'd be so fun actually.
It just like reminded me because when I started reading sorry, off topic, when I started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, like everybody, it was like a thing that like people were pronouncing Rhysand as Rysand, and we were like people were posting on how they pronounce like everybody's name in the book, because all the names are like kind of weird and like you could pronounce them multiple ways. So like the people that were saying Rysand, like the die-hard A Court of Thorns and Roses fan that knew that it was pronounced Rysand, they would just like trash them on TikTok.
Oh no.
And it would just be
that's
funny.
Bogus though that authors do that to people. Though.
Yeah.
Like they do that knowing there's going to be controversy. Like
Yeah.
Because only in their head do they know how it's pronounced. Like you have to do an index, man. You can't just.
And I'm glad that she does. Sarah Maas does like make a video where she does tell you how to pronounce the names. So people that are still saying Rysand, you're wrong. So sorry.
Like. It sounds like Barbara Streisand. That's what it sounds
Barbara
like.
Streisand.
Well, we should. That's actually pretty good. But yeah. I definitely pronounce it Thea.
Yeah. Now that you say Thea, I like that more than Thea.
I like them both. I don't know. But I never would have.
I never. At least I didn't say Tahia.
Tahia. Yeah, that. But I like Bex, too, for a nickname for Rebecca.
I do, too.
I like that a lot.
Side note, Bex is one of the main characters. That name is one of the main characters in Gallagher Girls series.
Oh, hey.
And she's like
tie-in.
The baddie of the group. She's like the I'm so tough and I beat everybody up type vibes. And she's like my favorite. Yeah, so Bex. Good name. If you want to name your kid that, go for it.
You're welcome. If you're expecting your firstborn.
Come to our next podcast where we give name advice. Name your child with BNS.
Bring your children in and we'll name them for you.
Yes, and if you're pregnant, we will predict the sex of your child and we will name them.
Yeah, it's going to be a program, actually.
It's on April 21st.
Yeah. So prepare for that. Full disclosure, not happening.
Please don't come
in here. Don't do that. Unless you really want to?
Yeah, I mean, we would be honestly honored to name your child.
Yeah.
So I would, like, if somebody came up and said, will you name my kid? I would be like, absolutely.
They might end up with a familiar middle name. Like
Grasshopper it is.
Bethann Samantha. Grasshopper. Yeah. Grasshopper Samantha.
Grasshopper Bethann Samantha Smith.
Grasshopper?
You are welcome.
Name. Yes. Absolutely. Okay.
Yes. So, back to Hawthorne Legacy.
Right. But I think it's them.
Okay, so you think it was them?
I think that they have something to do with it. I don't think that they're like the bad guys. I just think that they're trying to protect the grandmother, and I think they're trying to protect Bex because she's so emotionally destroyed after everything's happened. She honestly kind of gets on my nerves. Mm-hmm. Like I want to slap her around. Like,
yeah,
she makes
I don't
me
like
really
her
mad.
as a character,
I don't like she's so
Thea.
whiny and she won't like pick herself up, dust herself off. She won't own up. She's rude and like I understand that she's like struggling mentally and everything like that, but she won't even like try. Like I don't know. It's just really odd. But I think that they have inadvertently done something to trying to protect the family from who they think oh my gosh, I lost the main character's name. Who they think she is. Mm-hmm. And Avery, that's right. Oh my gosh. And I think because they've done this, like they're gonna regret it in the end, kind of. Like, I mean, that would be kind of unfortunate if it ended that way, honestly, because it kind of is how the first book ended.
Right.
But it's got to be something along those lines, unless I just haven't met this person yet. But unless it's Ovira is the aunt's name, right?
No.
What's her name? The other aunt.
Let me look it up. I thought it started with an L.
Oh, dude. I don't know then. And maybe it's her. Maybe it's the other sister. But that would also be kind of disappointing because Sky already went there. Unless it's still Sky. Or it could be her fake dad. Like, those are the, like, things that I'm leaning into that possibly... It's just so... She does such a good job of, like, stringing you along and only giving you specific breadcrumbs at specific times. So... She doesn't give you all at once. She just kind of like throws some things out so you just have just enough to kind of like get a nibble.
Zara.
And then pulls you in. Oh, Zara.
Vera. Close
enough. But there's definitely some, like, unspoken, like, animosity, hurts in the family. I mean, if you're billionaires, what else is there to do but cause family drama? You know, you have everything, so why not cause problems?
Right.
So it's just really interesting how it's working out, and I don't know if I want her to be with Jameson or Grayson.
Yeah, are you Team Jameson or Team Grayson?
Grayson needs punched in his mouth. I can't stand him.
So you're not Team Grayson.
But I'm also not Team Jameson because he needs slapped around a little bit too. He's too jokey. Like, be serious. Like, and stop acting like a butthole. Like, can I say that? Butthole. Stop acting like a butthole.
A booty hole.
Yes, stop. Like, stop being a...
I'm in, like, I can't decide whether I like Jameson or Grayson more.
I figured you would like Grayson.
I do, because he's kind of like the, like...
exactly.
I'm mysterious and...
I knew it.
But also, Jameson's like, I'm flirty and I'm going to flirt with you. And I'm just like, go for it.
But that's what makes me super mad, because he almost uses it as a front. Like, he does it as, like, a protecting thing. Like, it's almost something that he does by default to protect himself or, like, to make a light of a situation. And he can't be serious. But then Grayson is, like, so serious that he's, like, got a rod stuck up his rear. Like, it's just like, come on, dude, bend a little. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. It's not the end of the world. And you're all so young. Like, whatever, dude. Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. They're almost acting like if I talk to her, that's it. I'm with her for the rest of my life, and I can't make these decisions. And you're, like, freaking 17.
Yeah.
You know? Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Chill out. If you say hello, you're not going to have a ring on it immediately. Like, date around, dude. Oh, probably. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at the end of it, somehow somebody had to be married to blah, blah, blah. I had to choose.
Yeah. I think she's gonna choose Grayson.
Really?
Yeah.
Whatever. Because
I think that Jameson is, like, still in love with homegirl that died.
She does keep him at an arm's distance.
Yeah, so I think that he is, like, just kind of, like, using her as an emotional, like,
tie to her.
Outpour, yeah.
That's possible.
So I think that she'll end up with Grayson.
Well, and Grayson is this, like, crazy protector like, type. Like, I'm never gonna let anything happen to you. Like, I'm gonna love you from afar and protect you for the rest of my life, but we're never gonna be together.
So cute.
Oh my god, I hate it. It's like, mind your business, dude.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I'm full grown. You need to back up. Also, I don't need to tell you where I am every single second of every day. And then, like, Jameson gets mad because, like, can you stop joking around for once in your life? Like, shut up. Like, if it was me in her situation, I'd be like, nah, fam. None of y'all.
I'd be going for the older brother.
No, because he gets on my nerves, too. He plays those two girls 100%. He plays. Like, you know he's got that lawyer girl on a string just yanking her chain all day long.
Yeah.
And then her sister is not having any of it, and she gets so mean with him. I
still think something's going on with that lawyer girl.
Really?
Yep. She's gonna come into play somehow. I really think so.
I think something will happen to add spice to it because she was so jealous of Nash. Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna be a detrimental part of the story.
See, I do.
Really?
And, you know, I really, like, the demented part in me wanted it to take the turn of, like, her sister was part of it, too.
Oh, I don't think her sister. I think her sister is just there for sentimental relief.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because for a minute there, I really thought that when they had that argument in the second book, towards the middle, and she stormed off, that was it. She was going to leave and she was going to be done. Because I think her sister feels like, why am I here now? Because we're not actually related. I don't have any ties to you anymore. You're emancipated. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just going to be gone. And I thought that was going to be like, crumble. Mm-hmm. But then she came back and was like, you know, I'm still for you. I'm still with you. It's like her emotional support or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that anything is ever going to happen with that. I think she's always just going to be around. And I do think she's going to end up with Nash. I mean, that's just obvious. But her best friend...
I really love that name. Nash? Side note, Nash. I'm going to name my child that. Oh, my gosh.
Nash? Like Smash?
Nash. Like Nash.
Nashville?
Nash.
You want to name your kid Nash? No! Stop!
I love that. Nash Vent.
Your kids are going to have... Samuel's going to be the only normal one. You're going to have, like, crazy names walking around your house, and it's going to be Samuel, and then... blah, 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 blah. Exactly. Like, oh, what happened? I don't understand.
But this is what you guys should do. You should come to the library. You should check out the Inheritance games and Hawthorne Legacy.
Yes.
Read them. And then you should tell us what you guys thought and give us your rating. Did you rate this a 5-star? Did you rate it a 1-star?
I already know this is going to be a 5 out of 5.
Yes.
There's no question. I don't have to finish it to know that.
Yes. Come in, check out the book, and then we will see you guys next week for our next episode.
And what are we doing for our next episode?
I don't know. It's going to be a surprise.
Yep, we're surprised too. So, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.